DC, you did your thing. You did your thing. Alright guys, we're back. I'm Roger, I'm a Street Level Critic, and we're going to discuss Aquaman. We're going to discuss. Me and you. I want you guys to comment down in the comment section and tell me what you thought of the movie. If you saw it already, when you see it, comment down below. It's going to be different for me. I've never done a review on my channel. So this is going to be a loose review. Trying to get used to doing it. I have here on my phone a bunch of things written down that I want to talk about or discuss really quick. I'm going to glance down. Maybe I'll cut it out when I'm looking down. But I love the movie. I saw it Saturday night. Thank you, Amazon, for the, way to see it earlier. And man, I was, from start to finish, I was really blown away. I was expecting it to be good. I wanted it to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. So the first thing on my list is I really, really love it when movie studios change the look of how the movie studio logo is at the beginning of the movie. When they integrate it somehow into the look of the film, if they make it a desert look for Mad Max, or if they make it rusty looking for something else, whatever they do to change it to make it match the feel of the movie really helps. One, because it's just different and cool looking, and two, because it kind of gets you in the mood for the movie. It's like, okay, here we go, we're here. None of that, showing the logo and it's just a regular classic logo like it could be any other movie. We know we're in it. So thank you for that. Loved it, James Wan. You did your thing. Might as well talk about James Wan right away. Wow. From the action to the special effects, he oversees it all. He really, really stepped up and pretty much hit a home run. I think so. Overall, one of the things about me that it might be different than others is not that I'm ignoring the acting, not that I'm ignoring the script, not that I ignore those things, but eye candy, in my opinion, is very important. Especially if I'm going to go see something at the theater, because then, okay, how I live in New York City. You know how expensive it is to get a ticket here in New York City? So, it's a big deal. So when I watch something, I want to see something different. I can see stories happen in real life all the time. If I want to see a comic book movie or a comic book story, I can just open a comic book, see something incredible. But if I want to see something on screen visually, it has to be appealing and way different. And this, it doesn't get much more different than this. It was underwater. The first time we've gone underwater in this form of matter. Now, before the movie started, or before when it was being made, talked about, everyone was discussing about, how is the underwater stuff going to look? Especially me. I was like, are they going to have bubbles coming out? It doesn't make sense to have bubbles because they can breathe underwater. They have that. So how is it going to look? How can they possibly make this work? In the first, when was it that it was in Batman v Superman? They had Aquaman in there. He came out that broken ship underwater and he looked like he was holding his breath. And he was like, and it swam off. It just didn't look right. And they hadn't settled on it. But what they settled on for this one, where they just basically just shot the actors and then put special effects on their hair to make them look like underwater. And the way that they made it look really, really worked. In my opinion, they put like an effect to their voices when they spoke underwater. So there was a differentiation between when they were above ground and underwater. So they had that, effect on their voice, which was awesome. I have here some clips playing on the screen here of what's going on. All the clips that they put together, they put out with Aquaman. So I have something to look at. But man, it was awesome. I really liked it. I hope people like it. I mean, it is fantasy. I mean, you can't have people talking underwater. So hopefully people just accept it. Okay, all right, let's go into it. That's how I did, and I loved it. The acting. Jason Momoa, ever since the first time I was exposed to him was where? In Game of Thrones, maybe. I don't remember before. If I did see him before, maybe I did. But right away, interesting to look at. Different kind of actor with his long hair, all huge, buff looking. And the first time I saw him as Aquaman in pictures for Batman v Superman, I was like, okay, yeah, I would love to have this. I love the more gruff, tough looking Aquaman than the old school Aquaman. No shade thrown at him, but this is much better than what I want. I didn't want no tall blonde, simple looking, tough superhero, classic looking Aquaman with the orange top and the, green, really bright green pants. And, the whole making fun of him. It's been a thing. This way, after this movie, this is Aquaman. This is how I want to see Aquaman. There was the animated movie. I forgot what it was called. But they also had a tougher, more gruff looking Aquaman. And some of the animations, or most of the animation, the DC animated movies always had a better, interesting looking Aquaman than the ones in the old school comics. But loved it. Loved the way Mira, she was awesome. I haven't seen her in that many movies to be able to tell you like, oh, I don't like her, I like her. But in this movie, awesome. She looked like Ariel, first of all, from The Little Mermaid. And in a lot of scenes, I was even saying, look at it. She just looks just like Ariel. And it was awesome. I loved it. When it comes to Nicole Kidman and Jango Fett, I'm sorry to the actor whose name I don't know, but not off the top of my head. But you're Jango Fett in my mind. And he did really good. Very believable. Him and Nicole Kidman. That's the thing I was going to say. Everyone in terms of acting, across the board, villains, good guys, heroes, everybody was very believable. Even Black Manta, which we'll get to later. But who else? Dolph Lundgren. I'm not a big fan of his, first of all. I mean, loved him in the Rocky movie, but besides that, he didn't really have anything that I was like huge fan of. But in this movie, he was really good, believable as an older, king of his section or whatever he was, leader of his people. And I really believed him as what he was playing. It's hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it because I'm trying to keep this spoiler free. Maybe later on I'll do a spoiler review so I can talk much more and just say anything I want. But for now, I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. Willem Dafoe. Love him. He's a great actor. He's funny. Every time I see like clips of him in bloopers, he's always doing silly stuff and acting. And seeing him in the Boondock Saints when he's like, there was a firefight. Classic. Every time I see him, that's what I think of. A lot of other people think about him in Spider-Man as the Green Goblin, but I think of him in the Boondock Saints saying there was a firefight. Classic. So yeah, let's just get to it. The villains. Orm, Ocean Master, and Black Manta. It's hard to say because Patrick Wilson, I thought he was awesome in the role. Really, really good. Funny in a not trying to be funny way. Like he was so serious and wanting everything he was. Everything that you see him, that when there was a scene where he looked at a certain person and he realized something was happening and you could really see it was funny to me. I laughed. But it was just funny because of how serious he was into the role. The action was really good. He did a really good job acting. Everything about him I bought, beginning, start to finish. And I can't even say something because spoiler free. Come on, Roger. Focus. Spoiler free. Black Manta. I liked him. He was probably the least favorite character of mine because of just the way that they did. There was a montage in the middle of the movie that involved him, and I didn't like how that went. I love me a montage, but the way that they did this one was too quick. I didn't understand how much time passed. And for this particular thing of what was happening, I kind of needed some sort of way to figure out how much time had passed. So, it was okay. I would like to see more. The helmet is huge. And for regular people looking at that helmet, that is comically, pun intended, huge. But they even threw in a little line in there where it made sense of why it was so big, the helmet. So I'll just leave it at that. After getting done with Black Manta's helmet, let's talk about special effects, because that is pretty much the star of the show. When you're doing an underwater movie like this, where there was so much underwater stuff, I'm very happy about. There was a lot of above water, above whatever, on ground, on land stuff, and the underwater stuff was incredible. The lighting, when he went underwater and his eyes lit up and he, could see underwater, and just the world, man. There was a lot of comparisons that you can look at it. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about it. It looks like Black Panther in terms of like just them arriving to the land, seeing this beautiful place, flying through it with ships, seeing the technology, everything of it, just the society, the different clans. There's a lot of comparisons. Not the brother, but fighting to get the kingdom, to rule, to take over, to fight the land dwellers or the people in the other. There's a lot of comparisons to Black Panther, but overall it didn't really bother me, because this is what the story is. This is how it happens. This is how it happens with Aquaman's brother, Orm. So that was fine. This is not a complaint, but the special effects of them speaking underwater, the hair, I don't think there's ever been anything as big or audacious as this since, I don't know, Avatar, Planet of the Apes. I mean, I'm trying to think of something so innovative. I mean, Avengers Infinity War had billions of graphics and special effects in it, but we've kind of gotten used to that going throughout all the Marvel movies. Like, we're used to seeing, we know what we're getting. It's been a build up and it's steadily been going. But something so audacious, something so different, something so ballsy, we've never seen this since Avatar and pretty much Planet of the Apes. So, and they did it good. There was the trench, the creatures, how well they looked. Probably most of them, if not all of them, were CGI, completely CGI, but they looked really good. They looked creepy. They looked scary. Loved it. The other crab people, I don't want to spoil anything, so the other crab people, that's all I'll say, they looked good too. We didn't get much time spent with them, but they looked really good too. The Fisherman King and his clan, super short. It happened so fast that it was almost cheesy and comical in a way. So, and as I mentioned, cheesy and comical, let me mention one big negative to me, in my opinion, was the humor in the movie. The jokes were really cheesy. That's the only way I can say it, is they were pretty cheesy. Now, I didn't mind it, because if I'm getting so much good, I can take a little bit of bad with it. That's fine with me. Not a complaint, because I'll take the good with the bad when I'm getting so much good. So, and yeah, the special effects were amazing. Now get into the action. The action was awesome. The movie opens not right away with an action scene, but the first action scene, when it opens up to that, it was incredible. Just the camera work. That, like, there was an action scene. I don't want to spoil it to say who it was, but there was an action scene, and the camera was moving all around while this person's doing flips and turns, and I was like, wow. Like, I put my left hand to my head. I was like, this is unbelievable what I'm watching right now, and it kind of just set the tone for what I was getting. The action scene when Aquaman is fighting Orm in that big cathedral-looking place. It goes really fast. There's a lot of slow motion kicking in it and flipping, but when the parts that are fast moving, if you really pay attention, choreography was so good. The action set pieces were awesome. Everything from beginning to end, the big battle scenes, the slow stuff. Everything was so well done. Very excited, very happy that we're getting this in a DCU or DCEU, whatever, DCFU, everything, whatever people want to call it. This was awesome. I'll have to do another video where I rate what I think of the DCU movies or DC comic book movies, because my opinions are very different than everybody else's. So I'll think about that. If you want that, comment down below. Let me know. Maybe I'll do that video. All right, so I have a few more things to mention. One thing that I always look at in a movie when I watch it is the rewatchability of it. Is it the kind of movie where I can watch over and over again and just have on Blu-ray at the house, whatever, just pop it in, watch it on Netflix, wherever it is? This movie rates very high on the rewatchability scale. Like this, I didn't see it on IMAX because the screening that I saw that wasn't offered in IMAX. But this is totally worth seeing on IMAX and totally worth seeing again just to watch it on IMAX. To see it on the big screen. I wonder in 3D how it'll look, because wow, the visuals in this movie are crazy. So the rewatchability on this one is really high. So that is really exciting. Because there's some comic movies, I'll give you an example. Thor: The Dark World, even Doctor Strange. Like, the visuals are crazy in Doctor Strange, but in my opinion, not something that I like. The movie in general, it's not something I can rewatch that many times. It's not that exciting or good of a story for me to rewatch. So, but this Aquaman was awesome. I can rewatch it many times. It'll probably be something I'll eventually get on Blu-ray, and yeah, it's gonna get put into my stack. So, last thing, there is a stinger in the middle of the credits, nothing in the end. So, you don't have to stay all the way to the end. You can thank me later. But I just wanted to give a little shout out to Media Stinger. There's an app for it. I don't know if they have it on Android. I know they have it on iPhone, I believe. But Media Stinger, you just check it. It'll tell you if there is something before, after the credits, during, whatever. And it won't spoil it for you. You just click on the little plus sign if you want to see the spoiler, and if you don't, you just sit there and wait. You decide if you want to wait. So, love that. I check it every time I see any movie. Sometimes I'll go see it and I'll check it. Oh, there's nothing? Boom, I'm gone. And I see people sitting there like, suckers, you're waiting for something, you're going to get just disappointed. So, little shout out to them. Not a sponsor. If they want to sponsor, give me a shout out. Mediastinger.com. Guys, overall, I don't know. I have to score the movie, right? I don't really have a rating scale yet. I'm probably going to have to set one up. But I scored it from 1 to 10. I don't give letter grading. From 1 to 10, I'll give the movie a 9.2. Very high. Very good. Fun movie. The music was awesome. Very exciting. I want to see what Shazam's going to come with now. No pressure. So, what did you guys think? Did you see it? Did you like it? Let me know. Comment down below. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Até a próxima. Peace.